With that in mind, let's turn to how employee contributions are evaluated once they're hired, with performance appraisals. These are the formal evaluations of employee job performance. Ideally, these evaluations are fair, accurate, and constructive. But in reality, most are based on subjective judgments rather than objective metrics. Just like when a professor grades your group participation, there might not be a clear number to go by, so impressions and memory play a big role. The same applies in the workplace, where it's not always easy to quantify effort, collaboration, or creativity. Even when quantifiable data are available, they often fail to capture the quality or context of the work. For example, a sales rep might hit all their sales goals, but if they were rude to customers or undermined coworkers, that wouldn't show in the sales numbers. As a result, supervisors usually rely on personal observations, which are vulnerable to various biases. And yet, performance evaluations are crucial to organizational success. They guide promotions, raises, and terminations. So accuracy and fairness are essential. Let's break down some of the most common errors supervisors make when evaluating performance. First, the halo effect, where one positive trait colors the entire evaluation. Imagine you're known for always being on time. Your supervisor might assume you're also highly organized or proactive, even if that's not necessarily the case. That's the halo effect in action. Second, the contrast effect, where an employee is rated in comparison to others rather than by set standards. This happens when your performance is compared to a superstar coworker, making your solid effort seem less impressive. And third, restriction of range, where some supervisors avoid giving very high or very low scores, focusing mostly on the middle of the scale. This makes it hard to distinguish between average, good, and truly excellent performance. Self-evaluations are increasingly common, especially in 360-degree feedback systems. But the ratings are often inflated. Those in power tend to rate themselves higher. And in group projects, some people confidently claim they did most of the work, while others downplay their contributions. These biases matter, especially in workplace settings where self-evaluations influence decisions about raises or promotions. Meanwhile, upward feedback, where employees evaluate their supervisors, can be skewed by fear of retaliation or the desire to impress. Given these challenges, how can organizations make performance appraisals more accurate and fair? Researchers have identified a few key strategies. To improve accuracy, appraisals should happen soon after the observed behavior. Multiple raters should be used, and they should be trained to rely on job-related criteria, not their assumptions or preferences. And in some organizations, 360-degree evaluations incorporate feedback from supervisors, peers, customers, and other stakeholders. If a manager wants to evaluate your teamwork skills, it helps to ask your coworkers, who work with you day to day, rather than relying solely on their own limited observations. This comprehensive approach can provide a more balanced and fair assessment. Fairness matters not just in outcomes, but in how evaluations are conducted. According to the due process model, employees should be informed of expectations and get a chance to respond, and evaluations should be based on evidence. Perceptions of fairness influence how people accept feedback, even if it's negative. Students, for instance, are more likely to accept a lower grade when they understand the rubric and get feedback on how to improve. In the workplace, the same principle holds. Clarity, transparency, and open communication make all the difference.